Hello everybody and welcome back to Limbo. In the last episode we died a whole bunch, we defeated a mechanical spider and a real spider, and now we've got something on our heads.
You know what else starts with an introduction? Mulan.
Look, I'm not sure whether I'm going to acknowledge that as a segue. So you see what happens here is that this thing on our heads makes it so that we just run forward. I don't have control over it. We run forward until we hit the light, at which case it runs backwards. So we're sort of controlled by this zombie thing. All we can sort of do is try and slow ourselves down, speed ourselves up and jump, but it will continue moving like forward regardless of what we try and do. So that's the situation here.
Fair enough.
Like in Mulan.
Yes. Remember that part in Mulan where she was attacked by a head zombie? Also known as Eddie Murphy?
Eddie Murphy?
Yes, Eddie Murphy. Who could have been a great actor in Frozen, I might add.
Oh, I bet he could have. I bet he
Okay,
could
so
have.
those are my two lazy excuses to...
So, look, before this episode, I told Sephazon, look, you should just bring up, I'll give you a challenge. What you need to do is bring up, I failed this again and I realised that I needed to drag this box across, but I realised it too late. I said to Sephazon, okay, well, why don't you just naturally, during the course of this episode, bring up Mulan and Frozen? That can be a challenge.
Naturally, he said. Naturally.
Naturally.
So naturally, of course, I ignored that and just shoehorned them into the laziest, sleaziest way I could.
Yep, just like in Frozen, yeah. So, what we do have to do for this puzzle is bring this box with us.
And then summon Olaf.
Yes, that's right, just like in a series of unfortunate events.
Yes, Count Olaf, which now available on Netflix.
Have you watched it?
I have not. This is just an obvious advertisement that we are getting paid literally thousands of dollars for in this random Let's Play. Bring in the cash!
Disclaimer, I am not getting paid anything by the creators of a series of unfortunate events. I wish I was.
Disclaimer, yeah.
Yeah, but...
Is it false advertising if we lie about advertising? I think it is.
Probably.
Disclaimer, we are not actually doing that.
So, yeah, I read the books for a series of unfortunate events. I haven't seen the TV Netflix series yet, but I did love the books as a kid.
I have neither read the books nor seen that original movie.
So, it's very
I do
good.
know.
It's because...
I do know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
I think that they are very good in the books because the author is good at words. So
and how does that make you feel?
So I'm not sure how that makes me feel when it comes to the question of a TV series. Like, I imagine it's probably pretty good because I've heard some good things about it, but I'm not sure how much of what's good about it translates to the original series. So
right, that's
like I'm not sure if it's a good TV series that's not good at being what the books were, or if it actually carries across the spirit of the books. Those of you who have seen it, let me know, because I would potentially be interested in having a look at a series of unfortunate events.
I know it has Neil Patrick Harris in it.
Yeah, he is
Count Olaf.
As Count Olaf, which is not the way I imagined Count Olaf, but he does pull it off pretty well from what I've seen. And you can see it's time to jump up and down because it makes this little furry creature
very confused.
Very confused. I'm not sure if it's a...
What is it? The spawn of my nightmares. So I was just thinking about, you said, Neil Patrick Harris isn't the way you would imagine the role. Now I'm thinking, what if it were Johnny Depp? And then I want to go a step further.
What if he made a movie about a chocolate factory Yeah.
Better. What if? So think about it. Think about a Disney movie and replace the main character with Johnny Depp, and how does it change the movie?
All right. Well, Mulan would in fact lose all purpose because it is in fact a movie about a woman finding her place in a man's society, and having Johnny Depp as the main character would maybe make the entire movie pointless.
I think Elsa, though, would become a pirate. She has the boat, you know. I guess you could just think.
I don't think Elsa wants to get in the water, because... See, here's the thing about boats. And
sink.
Elsa's parents.
Little PTSD.
Well, yeah, like, I'm not sure Elsa would love to be on the open seas.
It wasn't like she was there. She didn't witness it. Or did she?
So, I figured out the puzzle here, but what I had to do was, while the water pressure was down, I had to move the log across. For some reason, I decided to jump and die. So,
that's sort of a pathetic way to die, to be honest. The water level was going down.
Yeah. You could have held his breath for like 5 seconds, but that's okay.
Speaking of which, so I have a quick thing about water. This is a tangent from nowhere. Fishing in Zelda games. Why can't you fish in Wind Waker? And also, from a person who is born on the sea, why can't Link swim better?
Okay, so a few answers there. Link was not born on the sea, as far as I know. Link was
you don't know his life. Don't judge him.
Link was born on the land.
Do we know this though? We never met his parents. Maybe Link is related to Elsa.
Wow. That doesn't mean anything. That's the worst game theory I've ever heard. Okay, that's like the 4th worst game theory I've ever heard. Let me rephrase that.
The other 3 were also from me.
The other 3 were also from you. There's also a Twitter account called Game Theory Rejects, which just posts just random stuff and then writes game theory on them. It's just sort of making fun of some of the more random game theory things.
You know, Mario is red because it represents the blood of his enemies.
Hmm.
You know, I say that, I'm 90% certain that's already been probably said.
There's probably always also... Yeah, there's probably 6 videos about it.
So this is the game that we're talking about. I think we've talked about everything but Limbo this entire episode.
Well, Limbo is a nice background here to what's going on. I mean, I don't mind it because this is kind of what I expected from a post-commentary thing, to be honest, because the live commentary is all about the reactions to when I die, I go, what? But if I just have a co-commentator and I have post-commentary, how will that change it? I think the answer is that we'll just talk about Disney.
Of course, and you are amazing South African.
South African, yep. My South African accent.
Actually from South Africa, not Australia. I know they're both southern countries, but
it's amazing how, while trying to say Southern American, you've implicated like 2 separate continents that aren't anywhere near Texas.
Why specifically Texas? Texas is simultaneously south and also sort of... No, it really is just south.
I mean, it's not like super south. Like it's not like it's not.
It sort of juts into Mexico.
But
I think it's pretty south.
It is the south. Like it's where
it's
they
the
have cowboys that have, lassos and stirrups, and they say giddy up, and sheriffs and deputies. Like Woody
and snakes in their boots.
Woody seems like a sheriff from Texas, right?
Yes, I guess, or Alaska.
Oh yeah, rounding up all those varmints, and by which I mean bears.
Polar bears and moose. Don't forget about the moose.
And moose, yeah. That is that's not my imagination of Woody. It does not involve Sarah Palin It does not involve.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Well, Sarah Palin's like the sheriff of Alaska, right?
The sheriff of Alaska, you got it.
Because,
you got it.
see, for Alaska, what I imagine isn't sheriffs but hunters. Like, you know, like that's the Sarah Palin thing of like, oh, I went out and shot 3 moose last night. You know, whereas Woody tackles varmints, which are an entirely different species.
The species of varmint, or Bartimus South Americanus, is the scientific name, I guess.
I think you mean Southern Americanus, to use the proper Latin.
We're having issues here.
Look, you cannot describe
made-up terms.
You cannot describe Texas without calling it South America. You've done this like 12 times over the course of this Let's Play already.
How about this? We can solve this issue just by stating that Texas is in fact part of South America, and everything south of that is also South America. Problem solved. There. Now I'm technically correct.
Sure, and Australia is also part of South America, technically. You would have thought that was the solution to the puzzle that I had to write up on the box, but it did not work.
There's probably something down here. Nope, death. There is death down there.
Yeah, see,
lots of death.
That was just me failing my job.
What are you going to do about it?
I don't know. You can leave it to me.
There's no leaves. What are you talking about?
I was making a joke. See, leave it to me like a treat. Get it?
Why do you do this to me?
And
it doesn't even work. Oh well, you drowned. Serves you right.
I got hit by a ball and drowned. Just like you can believe it.
What? Why?
That's what Naruto says. He says, believe
H2O, no you didn't. Alright, so here's my question.
Believe it to me, says Naruto. Is your question about Boruto, the new Naruto series?
Yes, no. It is about the time... I'm about to say something that I can just imagine Retsu Prey having a field day with.
Uh-huh.
So now I want to talk about the Kirby timeline. The most pressing matter. No. So I reached out to HAL Laboratory recently for interview material.
Uh-huh.
And I decided to join a Kirby community to get questions that I personally wouldn't have thought of.
Yep.
And a lot of it was about Kirby lore. And
oh, yep, all that Kirby lore.
Yes, and I'm thinking, as a member of the Zelda community, I'm comparing this to Zelda, and I'm thinking, is there a Kirby timeline that I'm just not aware of that people discuss in depth?
I think Super Smash Brothers is part of the Kirby time. Like, if I was to put Super Smash Brothers in a timeline, I'd probably put it in the Kirby timeline.
The Kirby canon? Well, it is. Yeah, it is. You know how?
So, in the next episode,
Kirby timeline.
Be talking about Kirby, I guess, maybe.